Hi guys, so this is the second part of the foundation paper that I started in the other video. So let's get straight into it. So we're starting at question 11 and going all the way to question 21. So let's go. So question 11. A wooden box measures 30 centimeters by 15 centimeters by 32 centimeters. The box has a lid. A carton measures 5 by 5 by 5 centimeters. James has 110 cartons. He wants to put all these cartons in a box and be able to shut the lid. Can James put all 110 cartons in the box and shut the lid? Show you working clearly. So we want to know if you can put 110 of these cartons into this box and be able to shut the lid. Okay, so what we have to do is, first of all, work out how many lengthwise we can fit along here, we can fit along here, and then how many we can fit along here, so like on the length. So what we need to do is go 30 divided by 5, because the other box is 5, so that means we could have 6. We could have 6 along here that are all next to each other. Okay, 6. Okay, then we do that for all the others. So then we've got 15 divided by 5, well, that gives us 3, and then 32. Okay, so this is where some people get tricked, because if you get this part wrong, you'll get the answer wrong. So let me just circle that. So what we need to do is 32.5. Sorry, 32 divided by 5 divided by 5, which equals 6.4. Okay, the next step from here is to multiply them all together to find out if 110 cartons would fit. But 6.4 does not work, because you can't have 6.4 boxes. We want an even number amount, a whole number. So it's only going to be 6, and this will completely change what your answer will be. It's got to be 6. Only 6 can fit in 6.4, 6 whole numbers. So what we do now is we go 6 times 6 times 3, and that's how many boxes can fit. Okay, that's how many boxes can fit, and the answer it will give you, well, if it's below 110, then we'll know you can't. If it's above, then we know you can. This gives you 108, so the answer is no. And this working, so the answer is no. But let's just say you forgot about this, the fact where it's actually only 6. If you forgot about that, then you would have got an answer above 110, 115, I think, which would have given you the answer yes, they will, which is wrong. So that was an important step there. Right, so let's continue. So question 12, we've got a graphs transformation question here. So there's a graph with 2 triangles on, labeled A and B. So part A, describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A to triangle B. All right, so it is a reflection from x equals -1. So if you look here, we draw a dotted line here. If you reflect either of the triangles from this dotted line, you get the other one. So there's one mark for putting that and the other mark for putting reflection. I'm not going to write that because it's hard to write on here. So reflection for 1 mark on the line x equals -1 for the second mark. Okay, so on your grid, translate the triangle B by the vector 2, -6. Okay, so what we do here is we need to move. So we're looking at triangle B here, yeah? So the vector 2, 6. Right. So what we do here, first of all, is, I'm going to look at, we'll go for the top point first. So this is 1, 5 right now. 5, 1. No, 1, 5, yeah. So what we need to do is go 2 to the right. So 1, 2, and then 6 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the top of our triangle. And then from there, we can just count 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 across. And then draw our our triangle. Sorry about the drawing, it's not the best. Okay, and then I think label it C. So that's our triangle, and that's another mark. Describe fully the transformation that maps triangle C to triangle B. All right, so this is basically the opposite of what we've just done here. So it's a vector again, and it's just the opposite vector, -2/6, because we're just going back the other way. So it's just an opposite vector. So we'll go -2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back to the top. So that's another 4 marks there, quite easy. Right, number 13. There are some people in a cinema. 3/5 of the people in the cinema are children. For the children in the cinema, the number of girls to the number of boys is 2 to 7. There are 170 girls in the cinema. Work out the number of adults in the cinema. So this question is worth 5 marks. So let's go ahead. So first of all, we need to work out how many children there are overall. So we know that 170 girls equals 2 parts of the children. So we divide that by 2, so then we can get what 1 part of the children is, which is 85. So we've got 85 children is 1 part, and we know that overall we've got 9 parts of children from the ratio. So we do 85 times 9. 85 times 9, which will give us how many children are in the cinema. So there are 765 children in the cinema. 765 children in the cinema. Okay, so our next step, we need to realize that 3/5 equals 765. So 765, we'll divide that by 3, okay, to figure out how many 1/5 is. Okay, and that will tell us how much 1/5 of the thing. And if 3/5 are children, that means 2/5 are adults. So what we can then do after that is times that by 2 to find out how much 2/5 are. This will give us how many adults there are. So 765 divided by 3 times 2 gives us an answer of 510 adults. And that is the correct answer. Okay, so to get all the marks here, you'd need to, first of all, write out how many parts are in the children's ratio. So 9 parts, and the second mark would be work out 1 part of children. Next would be work out how many children, and the next would be able to, the next 2 for working out this, and then the answer. All right, question 14. All right, this one's going to be difficult because it's a bearings one, but let's go ahead. So the accurate scale drawing shows the position of 2 ships, L and M. So there we've got 2 ships. Find the bearing of ship M from ship L. Okay, so ship M from ship L. So we're looking at this angle here from ship across there. So we can see that it's more than 90 degrees. And as I'm on a computer, I can't really use a protractor that easily. So I'm just going to tell you the answer here. The answer is 110. So all you'd have to do is read off your protractor here, 110 degrees. Okay, and that's you can see that quite clearly. It's more than 90, which would be there, and then there's a bit more. There's 20 more degrees. So we'll just put the answer here, 110. Might make a video in the future on how to do bearings to help with this if you need it. So the scale drawing is 1 centimeter to 5 kilometers. Ship P is 40 kilometers from L and on a bearing of 240 degrees from M. On the diagram, mark with a cross the position of P. So we're working out where ship P is, which is a new ship. So something we can first find out is that ship P is 40 kilometers. So to find out how many centimeters that is, we'll do 40 divided by 5. Okay, and that'll tell us how many centimeters there are. The ship is away from ship M on the bearing. So we've got, sorry, from L actually. So it's 8 centimeters away. So also I can't really do this, so I'm just going to estimate. So we've got 240 degrees from M. So from M, so let's just have a look here. So it's going to be somewhere in that direction. So we've got 90 degrees there, 180 degrees there. Okay, that is 200. Oh, okay, so perfect. That's 270. So we want to find 240. So it's going to be about this direction and 8 centimeters this way. So it's going to be about here. Yeah, so I'm going to put ship P there. So of course, if you had a paper version of this, you could easily measure out how much, you can easily measure out the angle here, 240 degrees, and then once you've done that, you could draw a line this way and then find out where it reaches 8 centimeters, and that would give you your answer. So we need to put a cross. Right, that's another 4 marks. So, question 15. The table shows information about the weights in kilograms of 40 parcels. Write down the modal class. So the modal class is the most, which is 0. Well, obviously the most is there. 19 parcels weigh that much. These type of questions come up loads in exams, so it's a great idea to make sure you're familiar with these. And then the second part, work out an estimate for the mean weight of the parcels. So what we need to do here is do midpoint times frequency divided by the number of parcels. So first of all, we can add all the parcels together. So the number of parcels is 19 plus 12 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2, which equals 40 parcels. It probably actually tells you that in the question. Yeah, it does, 40 parcels. So we've got 40 parts. So we've got 40 parcels. So then what we're going to do is midpoint. So we're going to do midpoint. So we're going to do 0.5 times 19, brackets around that. And then we're going to have to multiply that by 1.5 times 12. And then we're going to have to do this for all of them, brackets around each of them. And then we're going to have to divide it all by 40. And then that will give us the mean weight. Sorry, it's actually plus here, not multiply. Plus, so we need to plus all the weights together. So then we've got 2.5 times 5. And just plug this whole thing into your calculator, and then that'll give you the answer. It's a good idea to make sure you do this twice, just to make sure your answer's right, because this is quite a large calculation, so could get this wrong. Times 2, and then I'm just going to do the last one straight away because I'm running out of room. So 4.5 times 2 is 9. So then we divide that all by 40. Oh yeah, that's a terrible line. And then our answer for this is 4 marks, so it's pretty essential if you want to get a good grade here. So if you put this all in your calculator, you'll get an answer of 1.4 kilograms. Okay, so let's move on. It's another 5 marks. So great, question 16a. So the question's getting a bit harder now. So simplify y to the power of 5 times y to the power of 9. So when you multiply two powers together, you just add them. If you don't know these rules, it's important to learn the rules on indices. Make a video on that again soon. So we've got an answer of y to the power of 14. Okay, and then the next one. So when you take a power to another power, put a power by a power, you multiply instead of add. So we've got 2 to the power of 4 times m to the power of 3 times 4, which will give us 8 m to the power of 12. Okay. So number C, solve 5 and then bracket x plus 3 bracket equals 3x minus 4. So clear algebraic working. So first step is to expand the bracket on the left. So we're going to have 3x plus 15, okay, equals that. Then we're going to have to combine, put the same terms on each side. So we're going to have 5x here, minus 3x, because it's plus 3x on the other side, so we have to do the opposite, equals, we've got -4 on this side, and then on this right side we've got 15, so we need to take away 15, so we've got -15. So then we combine them, we've got 2x equals -19. Okay, and then we divide both sides by 2 to get x equals -19/2 or -9.5. Either one will get you full marks. So, part D, factorize. So, x squared plus 2x minus 24. Okay, so what we need to do is draw double brackets here. Okay. Double brackets with x in each, and as there's no integer in front of x, we don't have to put any inside the brackets. So we multiply x by x, we'll get x squared. So we need to do x times something over here as well to get -24. So what we're going to have to do is think of things that multiply to -24 but add to +2. So if we think about on top of our heads, we've got 6 times -4. That equals -24. And if we add them together, that equals 2. So there are our answers, and we can put them either way. So we've got x minus 4 and then x plus 6. And then that's our answer. 2 marks there. So it would be important to show out you're working on how you figured out what goes inside the brackets by seeing that 6 times -4 equals -24, and then they add together to equal 2. So then hence solve x squared plus, well, this equation. So what you do is you make each of these things equal to 0, and then you just simply bring the integer over to the other side, and you've got your answer. So for this one it's 4, and for the other one it's -6. So we've got 4 and -6. They're our answers. It's quite simple. Make sure you know how to factorize quadratics. It's important. So, number 17, here is a Venn diagram. Write down the numbers that are in set A. So that's just everything in set A. So in the set A, we'll write them in numerical order. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then 12. So that's 1 mark. And then for the second one, second part, we've got B union C. So that U means union, which means ones that are in both. So anything that's in both. So we've got 1 in B, we've got 3 in B, we've got 5 next, then we've got 7, and then we've got 9, and then we've got 10 in C, but we're looking for both, so that goes in the set, and then we've got 11. So that's our answer. Let me just draw some. It's important to write your answers on the lines. So Brian writes the statement A intersect C equals nothing. So the N means intersect, which means that are in both. They have to be in both. And then so his statement is A, and so there's nothing in A and C basically. That A and C share nothing, and quite clearly you can see that they're on opposite sides. They don't share any numbers. So we can put yes, he is right, and then your reason could be, well, you could just literally just put they don't share any numbers. I'll get you a second mark. So one of the numbers in the Venn diagram is picked at random. Find the probability that this number is in set C. Okay, so this basically means not in C. Okay, so what we need to do is count how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or you could just look at the largest number and see it's 12. So how many are in C? 2. Okay, there are 2 in C. So that means there's 10 not in C. And the question is, work out the probability of picking one that's not in C. So the answer is 10 out of 12. And to get the second mark, you'd have to write 10 equals C intersect, and then not intersect, sorry, and then 12 equals so have all numbers, and then just write the fraction. Simple enough. Okay, so part 18. Write 8 times 10 to the 4 is an ordinary number. So what we need to do is 8, then we just add 4. We just add 4 zeros on. So we get 80,000. These type of questions are pretty easy because you've got a calculator, so that's all you need to do. You don't need to try it in your head. I mean, of course, when these type are quite simple, but when we get to part B, I would not recommend attempting it in your head. Well, so in this one, what we need to do is 3.5, okay, times 10. Then what we're going to do is right below it, we're going to write a fraction bar, yeah? So we're going to have underneath this 7 times 10 to the 8. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a line down the middle, so we're thinking of it like two different things. So we've got 3.5 divided by 7, which is 0.5. So we've got 0.5 times, okay, and then we've got 10 to the power of 5 divided by 10 to the power of 8. So when you're dividing powers, what you do is you subtract them. So we've got 5 minus 8. So we've got 10 to the times 10 to the negative 3. And is that our answer? No, it's not, because you have to have a whole number between 1 and 10 for it to be in standard form. So we can change this to 5 times 10. And because we're moving 0 over again, we're going to have to go another indices in that. So we're in 5 times 10 to the negative 4. There we go. Okay, so now let's move on to question 19. Good job so far, guys. We're almost there. So 19a. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 2x plus 3 for the values of x, negative 2 to 3. Okay. So let's draw this line. So we've got y equals 2x plus 3. So when x is negative 2, we've got 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4 plus 3. So when x is negative 2, y is negative 1. So let's draw a little dot on that point. Next one, so when x is negative 1, okay, we get y as 1. And then we'll do 1, 1, and you'll be able to see the pattern. So we're going to do x as 0, and then it turns out to be 3. So as you can see, it's a straight line graph, which is going up by 2 every time on the y-axis, and then 1 on the x-axis. So we can just simply draw the graph like here, and then you draw a line through it. Okay, let's go ahead. So let's draw a line. Sorry about the unstraight line. So here's the question now. Right, next part. This is worth 2 marks. The other part was worth 3 marks. Just keep that in mind. So show by shading on the grid the region that satisfies all 3 of the inequalities. So let's first of all draw the graphs of all of these, and they are all more than or less than and equal to. So that means all the lines are going to be solid because they are including the stuff on the line. So we've got x is less than 2. So we need to draw a line here that is solid on x is 2. So that's also it's a good idea to label all your lines. I'm not going to do that here because it's quite difficult. So then we've already done this one, done this one, then we've got y is greater than 1. So let's draw a line here. And the region that satisfies all of them. So, well, it's going to have to be above here for y. It's going to have to be down here for x. And, okay, so we can do a test here. So we can pick this random number here. 1, 3. So we'll put 1 in for x. 1 times 2 plus 3 equals 5. Does that equal 3? Sorry, let me just make sure I've got this right. Okay, so what you do here is realize that it is y is less than or equal to. x. So y is 3. Is 3 less than or equal to 5? Yes. So what we need to do is we can shade the region that's outside our area. We could have shaded our region, but either way is fine. You could also put a label in your region. Sometimes they ask you to label it R. So there's our region in here. Obviously, shade it much better if you're using pen or pencil. Question 20. M, N, and P are points on the circle, center O. MON is a diameter of the circle. MP equals 3.5. PN equals 9.7. Angle, well, this is basically telling us this is a right angled triangle, which means that we can work out the diameter easily by using Pythagoras' theorem. So we're going to do 3.5 squared plus 9.7 squared. Okay, that should equal, well, we're going to call it C. So we'll just call this C, this line here, C. MON, MON, we'll call that C. So let's just check how many marks this is. 4 marks. So put that in your calculator. 3.5 squared plus 9.7 squared will give you 104.33. And then if we want to work out C, what we need to do is square root that, okay, because C is C squared. So we're going to do square root 104.33. Okay, and that should, or you can try it yourself on your calculator, and then so that gives you 106.34. So root, and so that'll give us 10.31 centimeters. So now we know that. So now we need to work out some circumference of the circle. Okay, so circumference of the circle, I'm just going to put, so I'll just, yeah. Circumference equals 2 pi, that's pi r, or which equals also pi d for diameter, which is what we've got. So do pi times, we're going to do pi times this. That'll give us the answer for the circumference, which is pi times our answer there, so times pi. Also, we need to check how many significant figures they want it to, which is important. The answer is, okay, the answer is 32.4 because they want it to 1 decimal place or 3 significant figures. What do they want here? They want it to 3 significant figures. So 32.4 is our answer. 32.4. Well done if you got that by yourself. Quite tricky one there. But once you realize that you need to use Pythagoras' theorem, and if you know that and this the circumference equation, then it should be quite easy for you. So the last question now. Chow bought a boat for 160,000 Hong Kong dollars. The value of the boat depreciates by 4% each year. Work out the value of the boat at the end of 3 years. So what we need to do is get our value. So this is compound interest here. I'll be making a video on this quite soon. So we've got 160,000 Hong Kong dollars. So what we need to do is multiply that by our percentage change, which is going to be 1. So we're losing something here. So we're going to do 1 minus 4 100ths because percentage is out of 100. Okay, and then what we do is put this to the power of 3 because it's 3 years. Okay, see that? And that will give us our answer. So there is an equation for this, which is useful to learn. So 160,000 times 1 minus 4 over 100 to the power of 3, or cubed. And the answer is, oh, they also want it in nearest Hong Kong dollar. So the answer is 141,558 to the nearest dollar. Okay, so right here we can see this is a reasonable answer because it's less than this and it's depreciating. If you got an answer that's greater, then instantly you know you've got it wrong. So that's just a good if you're trying to check if you're on the right track. So the last part now, and then we've gone through the whole paper. So Jelena gets a salary increase of 5%. Her salary after the increase is 252,000 Hong Kong dollars. So work out Jelena's salary before the increase. So it increased by 5. So that means her salary right now equals 105%. So what we can do is work out 1% by dividing that by 105. So 252,000 divided by 105 will give us 240. So we know that 1% equals 240. Then to find the original amount, which is 100%, we multiply by 100, which you can just quite easily see that all you need to do is add 2 zeros. So what we're going to do is get our answer as 24,240,000. So Hong Kong dollars. So that's the end of the paper. I hope I've explained everything all right. If I've not, please drop a comment if you have any questions, and I'll try to respond as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Please give a like and subscribe if it was helpful. And if you want more videos like this, please just ask. Thanks.